All right, and we are back for my deck tech, and I'm playing Black, White, Pack Rat, and other fun stuff.
It's not really that fun.
Actually, it's not fun at all.
Really oppressive magic cards.
It is, yeah. So I'm going to start with the mana base here. So we have like a bunch of fetches for Godless Shrine is our only shock land because we are just playing 2 colors.
Yeah.
And we have Urborg, which has been one of the best cards in the deck. It's just been fantastic every time I've drawn it. And a couple of Isolated Chapels, which I have only had to play them tapped 1 time, and I've played a million matches with this deck, and they've actually been fantastic. Kind of want a third on those.
Also, you don't have to worry about your Isolated Chapel, Avacyn Pilgrim draws anymore.
True.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have to go Isolated Chapel tapped, Woodland Cemetery tapped, Avacyn's Pilgrim turn 3.
Yeah.
We do have 6 colorless lands, which seems a bit high. But the majority of cards in this deck only cost 1 colored symbol, the exceptions being Liliana and Brimaz.
And Tidebinder and Tide Hallow's Color.
True, but 1 of each is much easier than 2 of 1, generally speaking. Yes. So Tide Hauler is usually not that difficult to cast. But yeah, we do have Mutavault and Tech Edge, which may seem greedy, but I haven't had a lot of issues with the mana base, and Mutavault's actually been insanely good, even in situations where Pack Rat hasn't been that good. Mutavault's been so good that I'm like very happy that I have them in the deck. And then Tectonic Edge has also been actually pretty good too. But past the mana base, basically this is Black-White Jund. It's the same shell as Jund, it's just not playing Goyf and Ooze and other Jundy cards. Instead it has white cards. So we have Lingering Souls, which is pretty much the ultimate value card. And just good in a lot of different matchups, especially any of the fair decks. And then we have Brimaz and Path to Exile. And I like Path a lot as a removal spell. Having access to Path, Dismember, and Slaughter Pact as our 3 removal spells means that 1 mana, or even sometimes 0 mana open, we can usually kill almost anything. It's rare that those removal spells can't kill something. Yeah. Slaughter Pact sometimes can't kill things because of the non-black restriction, but Path and Dismember kill almost every creature in the format. And it is them costing 1 mana is actually extremely relevant. And one of the advantages to having cards like Path over stuff like Terminate or Abrupt Decay is you can do things like turn 3 Dark Confidant, kill your guy, or turn 3 attack, your Liliana with my Mutavault, also kill your blocker. Yeah. And there's just a lot of things like that that are actually extremely relevant. We have 1 Sorin Lord of Innistrad and another one in the sideboard. Sorin, for one thing, his -2 is extremely good with both Souls and Brimaz. Making Brimaz a 4/4 and making the cats 2/1s kind of lets them trade with a lot of things that they normally otherwise wouldn't be able to. But his +1 and his ultimate are surprisingly relevant in a lot of matchups. For example, a lot of the grindy fair matchups, a lot of times both players exhaust all their resources and then you play a Sorin, and now they may have a Raging Ravine or like a Tarmogoyf or something, but you can just chump it until you reach his ultimate and then ultimate it, steal their guys, and get it back. I've actually ultimated him 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is, I understand that with Lingering Soul, Sorin does sound good, but you don't see a lot of people in this format playing Sorin over Elspeth. Yeah. I guess we're not trying to be that aggressive, and the spray is probably better.
Right, so Elspeth's not, we're not trying to be that aggressive, and the access to Sorin's -2 and his -6 I think are better than Elspeth's other +1 ability. Where throwing a Dark Confidant or a Pack Rat in the air is really not that exciting because usually when you have these cards active for a while, you're going to win anyway. Yeah. And same thing with it's actually good with Brimaz, but both Planeswalkers are fantastic with Brimaz, so that's kind of a moot point in my opinion. So yeah, I have considered Elspeth, but I think that Sorin's just actually a little bit better. Cool. And then yeah, beyond that it's just standard Jund, discard, removal, Liliana. And let's look at the sideboard. Speaking of transitions that are sweet, we have a sweet transformational sideboard.
Is this a transformational sideboard?
Yeah, we transform from a grindy Black-White deck into a grindier Black-White deck.
You really should work on your comedic material. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that when I get home. Yeah. But for now, we're doing a deck tech. Okay. All right, let's focus on that.
Okay, I'm in.
All right, I have 2 disenchants. Those are for target artifact or enchantment. That's what those are for.
What are these for?
Those are for removing a card in the graveyard from the game.
That is so good.
It is.
Because that card was going to be devastating.
It was.
Yes.
Actually, Relic, these were originally Rest in Peace, but I decided that Relic was just significantly better. For one, I can use Relic. Relic can coexist with Lingering Souls, whereas Rest in Peace can't.
Yeah.
And Relic draws me a card. So in a lot of matchups, like the one we're about to play, where he has like Goyfs and stuff, I don't really want Rest in Peace that badly against him. Like, I want the effect, but I don't want to waste a card on it.
Yeah.
But with Relic, I can play a Relic, keep his Oozes and Goyfs at bay, and then cash it in for a card when I need to.
Yep.
Fulminator Mage goes with our tech edges for like Scape Shift and Tron. Can also come in against a lot of man lands as well.
We'll probably see it here.
Yeah, I will probably bring it in this matchup. And then 2 Damnations. This card has actually overperformed significantly. I was a little skeptical on it, but it has been very, very good. Comes in against like Pod, Affinity, and a lot of decks like that, where a lot of times they don't expect you to have Damnation.
Yeah.
So
not anymore. But now in the versus video, now that's how metagaming works.
Yeah, now that they've seen this versus video,
they'll only know you have it. All the people that play your deck, they will just get blown out by it.
Right.
But when they play you, they will know you have it.
Well, I guess it sucks when I play this deck then. Yeah, I hope this versus video is worth it. Stony Silence is for Affinity and Tron. Sin Collector has also overperformed to the point where I almost won a third. Really, really good against Blue-White Red. That's the main matchup. Also good against a lot of the combo decks. And surprisingly decent a lot of times in matchups like Jund too, where you strip a removal spell and you have fodder for their Lilianas.
Yep.
Second Sorin for grindy matchups. And then Azel's Persecution, which I have not tested much with it. But the very first match I played with it was against a guy who had Vendilion Clicks and Spellstutter Sprites and things like that. And so I drew it and killed him.
Yeah, it was very good.
So I was like, yep, we're keeping that in the board. So I don't know if Zealous Persecution's right, but it seems sweet.
Yep.
So let's get to battling and see which of these decks can...
You are just spot on with the transitions.
Yeah, yeah.
They're so good.
It's a transitional transition.
Professionals.
Yeah.